Hello, everyone. Today I want to introduce you to three very different artists. And these are modern day artists, which mean they are alive and they are currently making art today. They all have jobs in art. Art is how they make their living. They may not be what you normally think of when I say think about an artist and what an artist does. Um, but they are artists and they're making some really cool things. So the first artist we're going to meet is named Alva Keene. And when she was in college, her last year in college, she came up with this idea for a final project. And this idea has turned into a business that she now runs called Izzy's Wheels. And she's able to use her art in her business. She still is using her art, but she also works with artists and illustrators and even fashion designers in her creations. So let's meet Alva Keene and learn about what she does as an artist.
We came up with the tagline, if you can't stand up, stand out. And everything we did became about standing out. We create stylish wheel covers for wheelchairs that transform a medical device into a piece of fashion and self-expression.
I've always been really open with talking about my disability and wanted to talk about it because it's a part of who I am, and we all love talking about ourselves.
So when Izzy was a little girl, she used to always decorate her wheelchair for special occasions. And when she'd have her wheels done up, it just gave her a huge confidence boost because people would say, "Oh, I love your wheels."
Hi, I'm Lucy, and we're recording for the BBC.
Woohoo! Oh, fab! That was gorgeous. Come to see it?
Being able to create work that made my sister feel more confident was a very personal thing for me because it just meant a lot to me and it was a really good feeling.
Alongside my clothes wardrobe, I have a wheel wardrobe. I absolutely love colour, so being able to extend my love of colour to my chair has been so much fun to be able to pick every day which designs I want to go with the outfit I'm wearing.
Rings would be like...
Oh yeah, no, I wish, but...
Yeah, but the nails are perfect.
Thank you, I'm so happy I got them done. I'm delighted with myself.
Yeah, they're very pretty.
The first time Izzy wore these new wheels out, we couldn't believe how many people were coming over and saying like, "Oh my god, your wheels are so cool," and straight away it just gave her that big confidence boost.
When people meet you for the first time, that they learn something about you by looking at your chair.
Yeah.
Do people come up to you and say that they like your chair?
A lot.
A lot? Oh, that's brilliant.
Lucy missed about a few weeks of school in February for a surgery, so we changed up her wheels while she was off, and when she came back to school, she had the new wheels on, and that actually got more attention than the fact that she had a cast on her leg after her surgery, which she really liked. Hey, that's excellent.
Being able to encourage people to have a slightly more positive relationship with their wheelchair than they have in the past has been the most empowering and uplifting thing for me. I think it's so important to embrace whatever makes you different, and I want people to feel comfortable with moving in a slightly more positive direction, even if it's just baby steps.
Going at the front.
Oh, we love the breeze.
Wow, that was really cool how Alva Keene used her art designs to improve people's lives and to make them happy. The next artist we're going to meet is named Barnaby Dixon. And Barnaby is a puppet artist. He's a puppet designer and a puppet performer. So in this next video, we're going to meet one of the puppets that he has created.
Hey folks, Barnaby Dixon here. So this is one of the puppets that I've been working on these past few weeks. So it started off looking more like an aardvark than anything else. Then I considered, oh well, it could roll into a ball. Maybe it could be an armadillo. But I wanted to add this spines as well, or this fur on the top, so kind of like a porcupine. So it's kind of like a mix between a few different creatures. But I guess it's a mammal. So as a mammal, I wanted it to have this quite specific walk cycle where the front foot goes forward and the one at the back on the opposite side goes forward at the same time. So this kind of thing going on. It's pretty tricky though, so you should try this at home. So like the thumb goes forward at the same time as the ring finger, then the index finger at the same time as the little finger, and then you just repeat the process. Pretty tricky, and I've not quite got my head around it yet. So I've also experimented with more kind of behavioral movement, like scratching himself like that, or even kind of cleaning himself like that. And also some other movements that are a bit less conventional. So I found, strangely enough, that the handstands seem to work really well. Check that out. I'm really happy with the nose as well. I think it made sense to make that middle finger kind of a long, expressive appendage like this. Really. Yeah. The glowing is super nice too, and it's super nice in the dark. So I'll turn the lights off and just keep the UVs on so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so wow, yeah, look at that. Nice. What's so nice about using a one-handed puppet is you have the other hand free and you can really interact with the puppet in such an intuitive way. It's really kind of really playful. Do some bouncing around. And this camera also does slow-mo, so let's do some shots in slow-mo, see how they look. Hey, Matilda. Hey. Whoa, blue cat. We got a blue cat. What's going on? What are you saying? Matilda says you can subscribe to this channel and hit notifications if you'd like to see new videos. What else? She also says if you'd like to see behind the scenes content, here is a link to my Patreon account. Thanks, Matilda. Mwah.
Well, that was this really cool puppet that Barnaby Dixon made. I tried moving my fingers like he did to make the puppet move, and it is a lot harder than it looks. But maybe one day in art, we could make hand puppets. I don't know. Our last artist that we're learning about today is named Robert Lang, and he is both a scientist and an artist. He's an artist that does origami, and he makes his origami so that people can just enjoy how interesting it looks. But he also hopes his origami designs can help engineers and product designers when they're making new products and help them solve problems that they need to solve. So let's learn about Robert Lang.
Most important attributes of origami is one of the most important attributes of origami is once we have studied and understood the way paper folds and unfolds, we can apply those patterns to things that are very different from paper. I hope by bringing the tools of mathematics into my origami design, that I can then fold something that's beautiful and that's unexpected. My name is Robert Lang, and I'm a physicist and an origami artist. Origami is the Japanese name for the art of folded paper, and most origami is folded from a single sheet of paper with no cuts or tears. I have loved origami my entire life. I pursued it ever since I was a kid. But my study was science and engineering. I worked for NASA doing research on lasers, but throughout that whole time, I had been pursuing origami, developing designs, writing books. So in 2001, I quit my job to try to make a career out of origami. I've worked on a couple of different folding patterns that were round and would wrap into a cylindrical geometry to fit into a rocket. And I developed an airbag in a car that inflates from a small folded bundle. So whenever an engineer creates something that opens and closes in a controlled way, they can make use of the folding patterns of origami. Over the years, math has allowed me to realize as an artist shapes and creations that I couldn't achieve any other way. Traditional origami was relatively simple. The designs would have taken maybe 20 or 30 steps at most. But today, origami pieces can be so complicated that they can have tens, hundreds, maybe even 1,000 steps. When I'm folding, it's like working with an old friend. It's like dancing with a partner whose moves I know. If I move this way, I know my partner's going to move that way. And so I explore the math, develop the equations, solve the equations, create the folding pattern, and then I find out what it looks like. And as often as not, it is beautiful. For me, the driving force is that there's always something new to try, a new problem, a new subject, a new shape that I didn't think I was able to create before, but now I think I know how to realize it. And each time I solve a problem, you get this wonderful feeling, and you want more of those feelings.
Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed learning about those interesting and very different artists. I hope you realize that there are lots of jobs out there and available to people who are interested in art. It's not just being a painter or a sculptor. There's lots of different things you can do in the field of art. Have a good Friday, everyone, and I'll see you later.